What is up, everyone, and welcome back. Today, we are getting into Coheed and Cambria and the record, The Color Before the Sun. It is record number 8. Finally, we are getting there. I'm still basking in the glorious afterglow of seeing Coheed live on the 15th of January of 2019. It is currently early morning, February 20th of 2019 as I shoot this, and I'm still feeling it. I did notice in my live report that I failed to mention something that I felt be pretty key, and that is I truly felt that they sounded better live than they do on the record, and some of those tracks just sounded extraordinary in a live context, and I really enjoyed them even more than I did on the album. It's really difficult for bands to sound that good live. It's not easy, and there are not a massive amount of bands that I feel like do sound better live than they do on the record. Coheed absolutely does. And this is coming from somebody like myself who's seen well over 1,000 shows. They just, their live sound is so fantastic, and their sound is really beefed up, thickened, and I don't know how they managed to do it, but really love just how good they sound live, and I think they sound better than the record. I think the intensity that they have live helps with that. So, all that said, I failed to mention that. I figured I'd mention that here before I get into this record. I know this record is somewhat controversial in some people's opinions because it is the one record that really isn't a concept record. I found a great write-up about each track. I will include that in the link in the description below. And I like that it's not your typical Coheed concept record, even though I know that Claudio does use that space and time concept, the Coheed concept, to talk about so much of what's going on in his personal life. I'm happy that he's doing it out from under the veil here and just doing it in the open. So I think that's really outstanding to be able to see that. The only track I've heard off the record is one that I just recently heard live, and that was You've Got Spirit Kid. They were playing that as the second to last track of the night, right before the mighty and much loved Welcome Home. So I've had this record thanks to a wonderful subscriber sitting in iTunes for about 5 months. It has not been easy. I want to say October, November. Finally, I get a chance to get to it, and I can finally start listening to it afterwards. The patience required to not listen to these records as they're sitting there is difficult. I've had Unheavenly Creatures sitting there just about as long. So finally getting to this, really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to sharing the experience with you guys. So let's go ahead and do that without anything further from me. The band is Coheed and Cambria. The record is The Color Before the Sun. The very first track is called Island. And here we go. As always, I do have the lyrics sitting up in another window. I do find that to be very important, because it really does help me catch all the little things going on and not miss any of the lyrics. Like the sample, anybody who's been in the city and had a chance to ride a metro or mass transit will figure that out. Opening a riff, like those big vocal melodies there. The drums are mixed incredibly well here, very clear. I really like the fact that this is just kind of a straightforward driving rock riff. Really big, strong bass line. really clear mix with that bass. Always do such a great job with their vocal layering. Really easygoing chorus. It's not too much of a difference like some of their choruses are. It just seamlessly follows up on the groove they already have going. Really like the accent riff clearly being done by Travis. Really solid snare-driven fill there. I like how he used that as a bridge into the verse. It's very clever. I like that big, really rich accent tone that Travis is using here. Really nice vocal melody there, really good lyrical play. I like that vocal layering, really subtle leads being utilized here. I like how he's gone back to that chorus accent there to tie everything together. That accent's changed just slightly for this chorus. There's that bounce, that slight shift. That's what they're really notorious for doing with their choruses. There's little harmonics there. They're really brief, but I like that little addition. Very nuanced in this track, even though it's very straightforward. Or, shall I say, straightforward for Coheed. They do such a great job of being simple, yet adding so much little nuance and texture. Alright, that was the first track. That was Island. The next track is going to be Eraser. Slightly heavier. I like it. I like that more aggressive tone. Really cool accent where a little string noise. I like that big electronic usage there. I like that hi-hat usage that Josh is doing right there. And they do a great job of always miking the hi-hat to get that nuance that he uses so much. This kind of harkens back to earlier, more aggressive Coheed, and I like that. Like that accent coming in there. Another cool little accent. Different nuances for different parts of the verse. A lot of attention to detail in the songwriting here. Like that big, strong bass groove there. Like that slightly aggressive attack that Zach is using, a little bit of percussive attack in his playing, his picking. Simple solo playing more with noise than a lot of technique, and I really like that. It's a cool accent, really good feel here. I like that electronic panning back and forth across the headphones. Really hard on his sleeve when you look at these lyrics. A little bit more of that aggression. I like how this was written about him looking back at what Coheed's become and how they can, and what his identity's been. Very, very cool track. Really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that callback, that throwback in some ways. Some of the earlier, heavier stuff they've done kind of feels like it's coming full circle songwriting-wise there. Next track is Colors. There's that very familiar use of harmonics they like to do in their riffing, that palm muting. Really big, strong kick tone there. I like that. Really subtle cymbal accents. His words too many I can share our culture's casualty. Can't see the forest from the trees. We laugh at a time. I like the pretense and what this is written about. Just him getting up and waking up early and walking around and finding these different parts of his identity and accepting everything about who he is. Really beautiful chorus. Really subtle vocal lines. Kind of starts to pull on my heartstrings a little bit here. That kick is a bit more up front in this track, and I like that. I think it really works. I lost myself along the way. Restless nights mixed with purposeless days. Counting forward. There's a slight effect on the vocals, and I think it works with what he's doing here. Really subtle ride cymbal work back there. Really helps move this chorus. A lot of cool guitar layering. Big ringing chords that are subtle and subdued in the mix. Really gentle accents. A little bit of piano back there. It's a ton of little textures going on. I want to go back and listen to that chorus like 6 or 7 times just to pick out all the little details, because there's a lot going on. I like how they went back into that riff, those little calm, muted notes. Does a great job of tying things together. Really allowed the other instruments to come forward here. Drums and the bass are really up front. And I like how they're repeating the bridge. Really subtle accent guitar work. Again, this feels very familiar in this chorus here. Almost like a callback to some of the earlier records, and I really enjoy that feeling.
Just watch it fall, watch it come down, feel it as it goes. Does it feel good to let go? And when the world comes crashing down, don't make a move, don't make a sound. Just watch it fall, watch it come down, feel it as it goes. Does it feel good to let go?
I like how subtle those crashes are in the mix. It really works. This is a really fantastic track, and I think it's one that I can really identify with personally, because I walk a lot and I think a lot about everything in life, and that really, really resonates with me. I like how subtly those pianos are coming in at the end. It's a really well written, very well composed track that Claudio clearly had a really strong vision for. Beautiful stuff, man. Next track is Here to Mars. There's that very cool delay and reverb heavy accent tone there for a slight second. Of course, gotta have at least one or two obligatory I Love My Wife songs. Really gets back to their like pop punk, almost emo-ish leanings. Get a lot of those. We get those familiar rhythms and grooves from the first couple of records. Definitely reminds me of something from Second Stage. Really like that massive accent. It sounds almost like it could be a symphony. They did a great job of engineering that. Really killer walking bass line by Zach there. I like how short that chorus was, or that short, correction, how short that verse was. Short and sweet, back into this incredibly impactful and emotional chorus. Listen to that fill there, it really does encapsulate that punk influence. Very snare driven. Like how the entire band locked in there in that polyrhythm. subdued little piano notes. Slight bit of aggression in the voice there. It's hard not to feel emotional and sappy while listening to this track, but at the same time, it's so upbeat and happy that it's hard not to feel that. It's this yin-yang of conflicting emotions. Slight guitar accent, it's almost like a pick scrape there. Packed full of nuance, very powerful lyrics, very old school Coheed to me. Really enjoyed that. The next track is Ghost. And here we are, track 5 already. It's just moving so fast. Really beautiful guitar tones here.
I fuss and fight my curiosity with welcome arms and frightened fingers twitched anxiety.
Like the vocal layering.
Clean slate picture perfect, no mistakes. How am I?
This riff is so simple but so powerful and emotional. It's gorgeous. I could already feel it just pulling at me and tearing up a little bit there.
As a boy, I watched the world through broken eyes, given to me by a man, his wife, and all they had disguised. Uncertainty now keeps me asking how I lead the most. As they became more, will I teach the examples of their ghosts? Free.
I don't have kids, so I can't imagine that part of it, but these lyrics are so ambiguous that it's easy to find that personal meaning and that comfort in them. It's a really beautiful refrain. The sheer simplicity of this track, the sheer honesty and introspection of the lyrics, it's beautiful. And I know that's a term I use a lot with them, but I lack the words to express it any better. Just really powerful. So gorgeous. That next track I know is going to be another powerful one. Next track is Atlas. I know, reading comments from so many of you over the past several months, you've talked about this track and how much it means to those of you that are parents. I know I have done this version acoustic, I believe. So I haven't heard this version. I love that familiar pop punk like feeling here. Really strong drumming, very nuanced.
What little confidence I have, and make no mistakes. As you're
Wow.
naturally about to change for the better.
Love that almost angelic vocal there.
Clock starts to count. 'Cause boy, everything's about to go down.
Love that ringing bass line there. Just hitting that note. Really cool accent.
So sleep tight, little lifeless. 'Cause when your daddy goes off, just you know that you're the weight of his anchor, the love that is guiding him home,
Such a powerful and honest chorus.
the love that's guiding him home. Oh, I've had my share of leaving this retreat.
That
But never did it
OO refrain is something that's just so simple that they've used so much throughout their tracks over the years, and I think it works.
my way. It's that you won't be anything like me. Oh, it's so better for it you will be. So sleep tight, little lifeless. 'Cause when your daddy goes off, just you know that you're the weight of his anchor, the love that
Love how strong of a rhythm section Zach and Josh are together in tracks like this where they're so prominent in the mix. Really showcase that. I absolutely love that bass line. This riff right here sounds like something that honestly Mark Tremonti would write. Really, really slick riff.
So sleep tight, little lad.
I like the mixing here on the vocal. That slightly faint, slightly thin. Little bit of distortion on the vocal tone.
The love that is guiding him home.
And the tone they use for their guitars, fantastic. The shift into this outro is so incredibly seamless. I don't know if any band I've ever heard does conversational the way these guys do it. Those cool little harmonics that they are popping in there in that riff really work. Love the little things he's doing vocally right here. Wow. The honesty is so incredible to experience. That's another really fantastic and really emotional track. Next track is Young Love. I'm guessing Atlas is probably a favorite of a lot of you guys out there, especially those of you that have kids. Really curious to hear what you have to say about that. Love this riff. This record sounds more like a rock record in a lot of ways. Oh, the tone is gorgeous. Hear that usage of the semi-hollow, probably the 335. What about how Claudio wrote a song about his house? That's just awesome. And of course he makes it sound fantastic.
Your trust, we made for the coast, and in the wrong hands, you will bruise this bow.
It's so interesting because you can take these lyrics in a completely different way than knowing it was about a house. Some of the brilliance in how he writes. Just love the little things in this riff. The accents are kind of what I expected, and they really were. And I'm really incredibly loving just how strong the drum and bass, the rhythm sections driving these tracks is so forward in the mix through almost all of them so far. Love how the bass locked in with the main riff here and Joss's drum choices. That's a really, really killer way to have everybody lock in the way they did here in that riff. Love that passage. That riff is so full of bends. It's so tasty. Almost reminds me of like a 90s alternative riff. Really interesting way to close out of that, actually. Didn't expect them to come out with that riff. That really cool, almost angelic vocal usage that they love to do. Ah, good old You Got Spirit, kid. Really loved hearing this live. Really strong, positive, driving rock song.
Nobody gives a fuck who you are.
short verse there. I like how they just tackled that one straight back into the chorus. Really like the way they shifted once again, giving you that two-part chorus. They shifted to that bridge just so seamlessly. Doing this live was such a release. Screaming those lyrics out. They're so easy to pick up that it was easy to belt out that part with the rest of the crowd. So that's definitely one of the another one of the highlights. And hearing it again so quickly after seeing the show allows me to remember that and pick up on that. It's a really cool outro. Love that very semi-jazzy feel there. Good way to seek into the next track. Next track is The Audience. Oh, that's awesome. Definitely a little heavier. Feels like something I might hear off of No World in a way. Bit heavier, bit more that 80s feeling with a gigantic drum percussion. Big sound.
Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm the lie you use. Surrounded by snakes and talking sharks. Be mindful the words you choose. Their eyes reflecting the purpose, calling welcome to the feast.
That hi-hat pattern is so slick. Really has such a massive part of this verse. It really has so much of that impact and bite. The killer bit of distortion on that bass tone is fantastic. The intensity of this, knowing that it's about how fans would deal with this record, and the fact that it's not a concept record. Really cool. I like the effect, almost reminds me of a bit of STP. Love that nastiness and that aggression. It's nice to hear that. Love that big ringing bass note there. This is an awesome track, man. I would love to hear this live. But it would have to fit with the rest of the set. Really cool little accents. I like the way that dropped out. Wow. Nice to hear a bit of chaos there for me. Love the lyrics here. Love this shift of this progression of the bass line. Wish they'd do something more with this riff. Really cool little accents there. I'd love to see them use that for a solo. Love that bass line. Cool effects there at the end of that guitar tone. Droning electronics. Cool little electronic textures. It's a good way to close out of this and move right into the last track, which is going to be Peace to the Mountain. I'm impressed at just how quickly this record moved. It opens up another luscious acoustic riff here. I like how he's really used that tender, gentle part of his voice.
Afraid to let strangers in. How to keep my secrets? Did I ever have an idea of what they should have been? An unhappy accident.
I like the different ways he's enunciating certain words here. It's really cool. I like the use of the tambourine there. Really subtle drum work. A lot of little nuances in the bass line there too. Love those guitar tones with the accent line. This is utterly breathtaking. It's just beautiful.
Rejected to the brink. Only so much I can change. An artist I wish I could have made. Am I irrelevant?
I love just how self-aware he is in these lyrics.
To change the colors permanent. So let me go when no one can follow. Lost with my conscience, please bury me honest. The soul trolls, I drink myself hollow. Regrets grow regardless. Please, please, baby, bury me. I promise I'll go in peace. Oh, no, no, I promise I'll go in peace. When I'm free.
Absolutely getting chills. My whole body's locking up again. The goosebumps are coming. That those little vocal things he's doing there, stretching that word out.
So let me go when no one can follow. Lost with my conscience, please bury me honest. The storm trolls, I drink myself hollow. Regrets grow regardless. Please bury me honest. I promise I'll go in peace. Oh, no, I promise I'll go in peace.
Love how this has changed. The addition of the strings here, the brass. Just lured you in, and finally this outro hits, everything builds up, and it's still slightly subtle. It just easily takes you out. I like how they basically made that a round. The song is so subtle, it hooks you and you don't even realize you're being hooked. And it was just so easy to listen to. Different string and brass textures. Really nice way to end this. All right. That was it, ladies and gentlemen. That was Peace to the Mountain. That was all of the album version of Colors, or the correction, The Color Before the Sun. I do not have the actual unreleased versions for Bridge and Tunnel and Fangs of the Fox. The version I have has a ton of demos and a bunch of live stuff. It's the deconstructed deluxe version, but I don't have the last two bonus tracks that aren't lives or demos. So what I'll probably wind up doing with these and the other bonus tracks that I have missed at some point, and I'm sure one of you guys can point out the tracks that I have missed, I'll go ahead in the next couple of months, I'll do a video of all the bonus tracks. I'll just run through them all in a video, and we can do those, because I know I've missed a few over the past several records. Really love that record. I've seen some negative stuff about it. I don't know why. It feels like there's several tracks that harken back to the earlier shades of Coheed. I feel like I've gotten several different eras from them in the songwriting and the riffing and how things are structured. It's a very honest record. It's a really interesting and very introspective look at Claudio as a man. There's some utterly beautiful tracks on the record. There always are when it comes to a Coheed record. But there's some more punk emo-ish tracks that feel like they're coming off the first two records. There's some heavier, slightly more aggressive stuff that sounds like it could have come off in No World or Black Rainbow. There's some stuff that has a bit of that 70s-ish feel that sounds like it could have come off of GA1. It's a really diverse record. It's almost like a Coheed and Cambria jukebox of eras, and I really love that feeling. I really love how that sounded. It's a Coheed record. It's really easy to listen to. It's really easy to get into. It moves entirely too fast for the record being the length that it is. It doesn't feel that way. It's kind of like seeing them live at this point. It feels far shorter than it actually is, which is outstanding. And it's probably the first Coheed record that I've listened to that I don't feel like I got crushed. I'm walking away from this, and it's a fantastic record. It's a really easy record to listen to, but I don't feel like I have my guts ripped out. I don't feel like my soul was just been manhandled. There's some really emotional tracks there, and I still have that connection. It's still very easy to form that. Tracks like Ghost and Atlas are amazing. There isn't a track I can truly say I disliked. But overall, unlike listening to the Afterman records or to Black Rainbow, where I felt like I was just completely done and I didn't want to listen to anything else, I don't have that issue here. It ends out on a really happy note. There's some tracks that do have that yin and yang feeling. It's tough lyrics, but it's very happy as far as the music goes, and it really kind of makes a difference. I love how incredibly introspective and questioning tracks like The Audience are. It shows a bit of that insecurity of Claudio, not necessarily understanding how fans are going to take the fact that this isn't an Armory Wars or Armory Wars record. It's not a concept record. Though honestly, in a way, it still feels like a concept record. Whereas it's just a concept about his life. It's kind of, they're all tied together about his life and what he was going through at that point, as opposed to a concept based on the Armory Wars. So, well, he might say it's not a concept record. Still, in a way, looking at everything and reading the interview about the track by track breakdown, to me, it still is a concept record. It's just about his life. It's still telling the story. Every track is still telling a part of the story. It's just a story about him as opposed to the story about him that's written in a sci-fi setting. And I really enjoyed it. It's a really wonderful record. It's a very well mixed record. I love how prominent the drums and the bass are throughout the entire record. One thing I did miss, honestly, is there weren't a whole lot of solos on the record. And it's kind of unfortunate because both Claudio and Travis are fantastic guitar players. So I would have liked solos. But that's me, and I'm a big fan of solos. Especially from really talented guitar players like these two guys happen to be. As with any Coheed record, lots of nuance, lots of little things, lots of textures, some fantastic drum, bass, and guitar parts throughout the entire record, some really nifty little vocal things that could only come from Claudio. And the end of the record, the end of that last track, the addition of the brass, the addition of the strings coming at the right time and fading out like that was really enjoyable. Had a very moving and almost epic feel to it. And I love it as a whole. Don't ask me for a favorite track because I'm not there yet. It's going to take several listens. I think the ones that stand out initially, the first two, Island and Eraser, great 1-2 punch. I really, really loved that. Colors is fantastic. Atlas is gorgeous, and even though I don't, as well as Ghost, even though I don't have kids, I can certainly understand and identify with some of the things he's feeling there. I love the audience. I love the aggression. I love how heavy that is for a Coheed track. And overall, it's just a wonderful record. It's a wonderful experience. And I'm so glad we're finally there. It's bittersweet in a way, though, because I know that I've got one more record in the catalog. And then I just get to start doing lives and other stuff. I'm certainly going to keep doing Coheed content on the channel, because I know there's plenty of stuff that I haven't got a chance to do. I'm probably going to do some of the Never Ender concerts. I'll probably have to put that up on BitChute, because copyright can be a pain. This is probably going to wind up on BitChute as well. But I loved it. I really did. And I'm sure we'll start doing some opinion pieces on taking deeper looks at the stuff now that I've had a chance to listen to some of these records quite a bit. Thank you guys for so much support. I really appreciate it. It's been an unbelievably amazing journey, an unbelievably amazing experience connecting with so many of you out there that dwell among the fence. The live was just fantastic, and I can't wait to see them again in July. That's going to be amazing as well. And I did it a couple of albums ago. I'm going to do it again here. Here's the challenge, ladies and gentlemen, those of you on the fence. One of my absolute top 3 or 5 favorite bands, Evergrey, released their latest record, The Atlantic, at the end of January. And I've done a video on it. It's also up on Spotify as well as the rest of their catalog. I would love it if you guys took the time, if you're feeling adventurous, to listen to another band that has a very prog heavy style. This one leaning a bit more towards the metal side as opposed to the prog rock / slightly emo side of Coheed. But they are heavy on the concepts The latest record is the third part of a concept. So far, they've done Earth, Air, Fire, Air, and this one is Water, and I'm sure they will do one on Earth. But like a lot of the Coheed stuff, it's chock full of emotion, it's chock full of a lot of nuance, it's chock full of some really powerful stuff. And I will be honest, that record, The Atlantic, is so good that unless something even more spectacular comes out, it probably will be my album of the year. I think it's an incredible record. I think it's one of the best they've done in over a decade. And I think you're missing out if you don't give it a chance. So I know several of you have actually taken the plunge and had a chance to listen to it and have really enjoyed it. So my challenge to you, those of you that haven't taken the plunge yet, I would love it if you listen to New Evergrey and let me know what you think. Because I listened to it once on the way up to see Coheed. I listened to it once on the way back. I think I listened to it on the way back after I listened to GA1. But amazing stuff. Thank you guys. I really appreciate you. You've been amazing, and I can't say that enough. Thank you to my law enforcement, military veterans, and first responders for what you do every single day, as always. You have been awesome. I have been Baldman. I'll see you in the next one. Be excellent to each other, and keep head banging.